Please note that our next live session will be next Monday, December 19th with Krista. Again, Krista will return next Mindfulness Monday on December 19th for our final live session of the year. Join us this Wellness Wednesday for our social engagement series, where we will chat about Parkinson's and nutrition. This Fitness Friday, we are hosting a complete Parkinson's workout that will be holiday themed. To join us for any of our PD Health at Home sessions, please visit parkinson.org/pdhealth to learn more and to register. Following the closing of today's session, a survey will appear on your Zoom webpage. Please take a few moments to share your feedback with us and tell us what you'd like to focus more on next year. This will help Krista build and grow our curriculum. Lastly, if you are new to Parkinson's or are embracing a change in your journey, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We have a comprehensive website that addresses everything related to Parkinson's disease at parkinson.org, or call our bilingual toll-free helpline at 1-800-4PD-INFO, or email us at helpline@parkinson.org. Now it is my pleasure to welcome today's instructor, Jacqueline Fitch, who took her very first yoga class out of curiosity and was immediately drawn to the graceful practice of uniting conscious movement with breath. Years later, she completed both her initial and advanced teacher trainings at the Yoga Center of Columbia. Jacqueline is passionate in teaching yoga as an art of self-care and as a touchstone for our daily lives. Jacqueline was later introduced to the methodology of Eden Energy Medicine, which led her to the integrative practice of energy medicine yoga under the direction of creator Lauren Walker. Jacqueline's teaching focuses on the body as a living system of energy as she weaves these modern and ancient techniques into classic yoga postures, activating our body's natural healing intelligence. Today is Jacqueline's final session with you, but you can tune into her past sessions by visiting our webpage at parkinson.org/pdhealth or finding our Mindfulness Monday playlist on YouTube. Jacqueline, thank you for all that you have offered us this year of mindfulness, and thank you for returning today to share your wisdom with us. Now I'll turn it over to Jacqueline.
Thanks, Annie. What a great introduction. So good to see everyone. Okay. Oops, I lost you for a second. Let me make sure I can see some of you here on screen. Okay, so welcome today. Over this past year, we've talked a lot about how challenging emotions are often thought of as the enemy, but I've done my best to let you know that all emotions are valuable, they're informative, and they're instructive. So we absolutely want to view them as our teachers. So the intention of our session today is to learn tools to help us redefine and regulate our emotions with the purpose of caring for our well-being. So it's been said that in order to feel better, we have to be willing to feel more, and we're going to have to feel it all. So many of us, myself included, we tend to suppress our inherent capacity to feel. When most of us, what we might be feeling is not pleasant, it's of course natural to want to suppress or even bury our emotions. We all have so many distractions in our life. We've got physical pain, we have anxiety, we have exhaustion, not to mention the distraction of social media, the 6 o'clock news, the 10 o'clock news, the 11 o'clock news, where we're programmed into this belief of scarcity and even defensiveness. So all of this cuts us off from the critical connection to our own selves, to the information our emotions have to share, and the wisdom of our own inner voice and the knowing of what's best for us, because only we know what's best for us. And, realistically, every day can bring us stress and triggers. But I want you to know that our body by design is absolutely intelligent and brilliant. So when our nervous system is prompted to respond accordingly to stress, it can inform us not only of our boundaries and limits, but it can also motivate us to take positive action on our own behalf. It's a system that is absolutely designed for resilience. So when the stress response in the body completes its cycle, and that means that it has released adrenaline that fuels our fight, flight, or freeze mode, ideally, we should return to a general state of relaxation, of feeling engaged and present. But with all that may be happening in our lives, not to mention what's happening in the world around us, our baseline stress levels can be even higher than before, meaning that our nervous system is always on high alert, where we never quite return to that feeling of being relaxed, where we can completely let go. So strengthening our connection and our awareness to our own bodies and knowing how to best respond to stress is absolutely critical. In fact, honoring our emotions and making the space to actually feel them, our emotions, helps the physical stress response in the body complete its cycle. And we can see this every day in nature. So I've got a lot of little bunny rabbits that tend to hop through my yard. And when a rabbit or any animal is frightened, just like us, they start to breathe fast, their heart rate increases, their muscles start to twitch. So a natural response for them is to shake it off. They shake their bodies until they've calmed themselves down. So the same exact thing happens to us in varying degrees. But if stress or negative emotions continue to build and rise, it may be harder for us to shake it off, to rebound and come back to that sense of easefulness in our bodies. So learning how to process, how to move through and release our emotions is to be fully engaged in our lives. So we are not our stress. We are not our disease. We want to embrace our wholeness and the truth of who we are. It is certainly normal to experience fear, anger, and anxiety for what the future holds for all of us. So whether we're a caregiver or the one affected by a diagnosis of Parkinson's or any other disease, no matter what we have going on in our life, this is normal and it's 100% understandable. So we always want to be really self-compassionate with ourselves. So stress can be a wise indicator from our body that offers us insight into how we can respond positively and immediately throughout our day. And the key to deciphering what steps to take is actually rooted in our own self-awareness. So awareness empowers us to override our stress and our fears through growth mindsets, which is exactly what you are doing today. You showed up today. So you've already taken a positive step to educate yourself. So we want to stay engaged with life. So in addition to awareness, we want to take really good care of ourselves with adequate sleep. You all know this. Nourishment through healthy food choices. Connection with others is key. Movement practices and meditation, of course. So when we do these practices of self-care, our automatic reaction patterns to stress absolutely will change and evolve. So if I have an early morning meeting and I have to skip my own routine for self-care, I notice a huge difference in how my day goes. And I'm definitely more reactive and less resilient to any upsets or if anything doesn't go the way I plan. So your awareness about what works and what doesn't work in your own day-to-day is important to know as well. So we all know the importance of sleep and a healthy diet, but today I really want to emphasize the importance of connection. And I talk about this in every section. So pick up the phone, call a friend, schedule a time to meet a neighbor for a walk or a cup of coffee, invite somebody over for a card game. I mean, the list goes on. Super, super important. But in addition to connection, the other super important thing is to prioritize moving your body. So whether it be through taking a walk, and I know it's getting cold outside here, especially here in Maryland where I live, but even if you have to bundle up, a short walk around the block can be invigorating and it will definitely lift your spirits. Then, of course, yoga, a boxing class, which I know many of you do, any class where you're stretching, creating more space in the body for energy to move, strength training class, or just putting on some music and just dancing in your living room is great. Whatever it takes to move the body. So, okay, back to your emotions. So I want to ask you, what are you willing to feel today? So one of the best and easiest ways to tap into your emotions is through the practice of journaling. So I know some of you might be rolling your eyes, you've tried it, you don't like it, you don't get it. But if you're not one to journal, I have an idea for you, and it's called stream of consciousness writing. And it doesn't require anything from you other than just sitting down to write freely. So no thinking, no judgments, no prompts, no expectations. The only thing you're not allowed to do is to overthink or judge your writing. So everything that comes out on paper is good. It's called creative freedom. Plus, it gets us out of our head and allows us to release them from our physical body, to release those emotions, which can manifest in the physical body as pain and so forth and so on, which I've talked a lot about. But this process of journaling has shown that it can dramatically reduce our stress levels. So the instructions are super simple. We're not going to do it during our short time today, but I encourage you right after our call or later on today, all you do is you take a timer or set the timer on your iPhone or your fancy cell phone and set it for just 5 minutes. And you pick up a pen, and the only rule is you don't let it stop moving. You don't let that pen stop moving on the paper until the timer buzzes. So it's also a way to have a little talk with your emotions, such as fear, anger, anxiety. It's a way to understand where the emotion is coming from and then decide if it's worth listening to. It's a powerful, powerful tool. So I hope that you'll do that today for yourself. Some people make it a practice every day, setting that timer and just see what comes out. You could even crumple up the paper, you can burn it, you can throw it away, but it's a way to release your emotions. But today, I want to offer you some really simple techniques as a takeaway that you can use at any time of day to help regulate your emotions. So you've seen some of these before, but my hope is that these practices are going to inspire you during times of stress to pause, to slow down, to listen, to feel, and to really honor what your body is experiencing, what it's needing and what it's wanting. So you continue to nurture and build that sense of resilience within yourself. So first practice. In Qigong, if any of you practice that beautiful ancient Chinese practice, it's called shake the tree. And I start many of my yoga classes like this, like seated or standing. So just like a rabbit or a dog like shakes it off, whatever happens to them, it is the most effective way to release stress from the body. So our electrical nervous system runs down the spine, and we want any stress or shock in the body to travel from north to south, top to bottom, and ground back into the earth. So join me here. Super simple. You can just shake your shoulders up and down. You can shake the wrist. Even if you're seated, you can just pound the heels on the earth or pick up your whole foot and pound it. You can pick up your foot and give it a shake. And if you were standing, you could just shake and jump up and down, be as silly as you want, and you're literally just shaking off the stress. What you can also do is just clench your hands and shake them very vigorously, and you can make sound. So don't laugh, but it would look something like this, like, ah. So you let the lower jaw go slack and you let it all go. Ah. And just be silly, just shake it all off. Super effective. The next technique that I've shared before, but is the most important takeaway I want you to have. We call them in energy medicine yoga, the oh my God points, right? Because when somebody says something and you can't believe it, you're like, oh my gosh, our hand automatically goes to the forehead. Okay, so what this does is it connects, everybody can do this, just one hand on your forehead as if you were taking your temperature. This connects the nervous system, the circulatory system, and the meridian system, which are the energy pathways in your body. Your hand has electromagnetic properties, and this action keeps the blood in the forebrain, which helps with your critical thinking, which helps take you out of that stress loop, that fight, flies, I can't even say it, fight, flight, freeze response. If your other hand is free, take 2 or 3 fingers and rest them in this clavicular notch here in the throat. This is another point that is very powerful. These are called neurovascular points in Western medicine. And you just take a few breaths. You can hold these points as long as feels good. You can do it while you're lying down in bed. You could rest your elbow on your desk and cradle the head in your hand. And take a few breaths. Let's do 3 breaths together collectively, in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay. Super, super effective technique. Anytime you feel nervous, you're upset, whatever your emotion may be, fear, anger, the oh my God points. Now, you know, my next favorite is palming the eyes. So if you have, I don't have mine with me today. Oh, yes, I do. I have my favorite essential oil here. And I put a little bit on my wrist, just like two drops. And you don't have to do this. Then I like to rub my wrists together just on these pulse points and then palm the eyes. So you're cupping the eyes here. Eyes can be open or closed, and your thumbs are resting on your temples. So even here, we're covering those oh my God points. You could rest your elbows on the desk or the kitchen counter, or you could stay upright. And you're going to take a few more breaths here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. This helps remove or release excess energy from the body and excess emotion. And we're clearing up space in the body for energy to move by exhaling out the mouth. Now, lightly cover the eyelids with your fingertips. Inhale, and on an exhale, just lightly feather them across to the temples and give a little massage here. This releases any built-up tension in the head. And then lovingly just trace behind your ears 3 times, just as if you were pulling your hair behind your ears. This is calming to the central nervous system. And then you're going to slide your hands down the sides of the neck. Give the tops of the shoulders a squeeze. And then come to rest both hands over the heart, one over top of the other. And let's take a few intentional, slow, deep breaths here. Again, same breathing pattern. Breathe deeply in through the nose and exhale out the mouth. So breathe in deep and exhale long. Okay. Here's a simple breathing technique that I also like to use, which is very calming to the nervous system. I teach this in my classes, my yoga classes as well. So what you do, I'm going to raise up a little bit. Just bring my hands up the body with the fingers draped down on the inhale. And then on the exhale, I open my palms and I slide them down the front of the body. So move with great awareness, very slowly and very intentionally. So inhale, relaxed wrists, drawing the hands up. And then exhale, draw the hands down. And you can do this with a count mentally to the count of 3 or 4 on the inhale. And exhale. Let's do that twice more. Okay. Lots of tools for your toolbox here. I also want to demonstrate what's called 5-finger breathing. This is actually taught to EMTs out in the field to help with their own stress based on all the trauma that they see and experience every day. So you just hold your hand up, and with your other forefinger, you're going to trace up and down the fingers. So as you trace up, you're going to inhale. And as you trace down into the webbing, you exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. I hope you're doing this with me. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's do the same thing opposite hand. Here we go. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. I'm going to go quiet. Listen to the sound of your own breath. Very simple tools that you can pause, take a breath, and execute these in just a minute's time. Okay, let's do my favorite exercise, connecting the sun and the earth. So bringing your hands together in prayer position in front of the heart. On the inhale, we're going to flatten one palm as we reach it up towards the sky. And then the other palm is flattened down towards the earth. And then exhale, bring the hands together in front of the heart. This can be done standing or seated. Again, inhaling, bringing in fresh energy into the body. Exhaling, releasing excess stale energy. Inhaling, reaching for the sun, reaching down to the earth. Exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling. Let's do that one more time, each side, just because it feels so good. Okay, one last technique before I guide you through a meditation. And in energy medicine yoga, it's called the hookup. And it helps with your physical alignment, your emotional alignment, and it just is very grounding. So take your middle finger of one hand and place it right in your navel, right in your belly button. And take the other middle finger and place it right between your eyebrows. And you're going to press in gently and pull up. And we're going to take 3 breaths here. And I encourage you to mentally say to yourself, I am always safe at the center of my being. I am always safe at the center of my being. Inhale deep. Exhale long. One more breath. And then remove your hands and just pause a moment. And I invite you to feel what you feel, to notice what you notice. So I'll hope that you'll use those techniques throughout your day. You can sprinkle them in, you can choose one a day. But now I would like to just share this beautiful guided meditation with you. It's paraphrased and it's called accessing your accessing your stillness. And it's by Sarah Blondin. And so I've shortened it and paraphrased it. But take a nice tall seat. Feel both of your feet firmly rooted on the floor, grounded to the floor. And I like to place one hand over my heart and one hand on the low belly below my navel. Or you could place both hands over your heart, or you could just place both hands on your lap with your fingers spread wide as you feel the grounding energy down through the legs. So eyes can be open or closed. If we remember to still, we remember to feel. It's time to remember now your stillness. Close your eyes, be still, and listen. It is in the quiet of non-doing that we can experience the well of peace living within us. Now open your ears to the present. Follow your gentle inhale and your gentle exhale. Allow your breath to pull you down into your body. Be open. Be curious. Surrender your resistance. You are safe here. Fall into a state of rest that can only be found within you. We all seem to meet resistance to rest in this place within. But why? We are convinced that this fact of being in this simple place is not quite enough. We have forgotten to visit, to create space, to slow into our bodies and our natural rhythm. But embrace this place of coming into your full self, coming into focus and feeling. May you experience a wave of relief, a softening. This friend that you meet here is your calm and your still point, your authenticity. Open yourself completely to this quiet within you, deep within your non-doing. This is your essence. This is where we experience the power of simplicity. It's time to remember now that this place gives us breath, brings light, brings heart, brings truth. It's time to remember as a collective whole to slow down so we may feel as we are meant to, so we may remember that we are tender, vital, alive, and governed by love and kindness and heart. If we remember to feel, we enter our aliveness. Remember now this sensitive place where you become awake. Be still and listen. There is love. Let this truth settle upon you and breathe yourself more alive. So that is my wish and my hope for all of you, to find that still point within and know that it's always there for you to tap into, to increase your self-awareness, to remember these tools that you have in your very own toolbox, these holds, this movement, to come back to this state, to that state of easefulness within the body, which is our birthright, right? So thank you to everyone. Such a joy to share this practice with you. And I hope everyone has a beautiful holiday and a very happy new year.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline, and thanks so much to all of you guys for being here with us today. Again, we hope you join us next Monday. Krista will be back. I know you all missed her today, so we look forward to seeing you again next week, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.